Now we know that there were hundreds of people in that movie theater last night, so there are some amazing survivor stories that are coming out of this tragedy. And we have 7 News reporter Russell Haythorn, who's been working on those stories, gathering information for us. Russell?
Mike and Ann, Medical Center of Aurora here has treated 18 of the shooting victims. The good news is 11 of those victims have been treated and released. 7 are still here. 2 of them remain in critical condition and 5 are stable. They range in ages from 16 to 31 years old. Doctors here say the stories of these victims are simply heart-wrenching. In fact, one of the young men who came through the ER last night didn't even know he had been shot. He still thought that fireworks had gone off in the theater. And then just tonight, a few hours ago, we got to meet one of the victims, a 22-year-old young man from Connecticut who was cycling across the country with his friend when they just happened to stop in Aurora last night, a decision they will remember forever. Less than 24 hours after getting shot in the neck, Stephen Barton describes a scene like no reality he had ever experienced before.
Yeah, well, so after I got hit, I fell to the ground and was just waiting for the shooting to stop. And the thought really passed my mind that, like, this is not actually happening. It was hard to believe it even when it was happening. And so, I mean, on some level, I guess I realized, there's a shooter in the theater and he's killing people. But on another level, I guess I didn't really want to believe it.
Still a little lethargic and worn out, Barton is now one of 59 survivors from what will undoubtedly take its place as one of the worst shooting massacres in U.S. history. From his Colorado hospital bed, Barton says the theater shooter during the Batman premiere was deliberate and purposeful.
It was cold and calculated, definitely. It seemed very methodical.
Barton and his friend Ethan were just making a quick one-night stop in Aurora as they took a summer bike trip across America. They just wanted to catch a movie, having no idea their bike trip would end like one.
It seems like something that never happens to real people. It happens to people in the paper who you don't know, and because there's a 1 in a million chance that it will ever happen to you.
Saw the wounds on Stephen Barton's face, those wounds. And you saw those wounds on Stephen Barton's face. Those wounds are actually from shrapnel, from the buckshot, from the shotgun that he was shot with. We're told he has shrapnel wounds in his face, his arms, his chest, and 2 deep wounds in his neck that had to be stapled shut. And one final note on Stephen Barton, Mike and Ann, he was actually brought to Medical Center of Aurora last night by a police officer. We're told by the doctors here that several police officers who were first on the scene over at the theater actually couldn't wait for those ambulances to arrive, so they loaded up some of the victims and they took them to hospitals as fast as they could. And doctors here say that saved many lives. Live at the Medical Center of Aurora, Russell Haythorn, 7 News.